You take your amlodipine pill diligently every single day, trusting it to control your blood pressure and protect your heart. But what if your numbers are still too high, or you're experiencing more side effects than you expected? What if I told you that certain foods, including one that is often considered incredibly healthy, are actively at war with your medication? That these foods are not just unhelpful, but are secretly sabotaging your efforts and wrecking your blood pressure control from the inside out? In this video, I will expose the top 3 most harmful foods you must avoid if you take amlodipine. I'm not just going to tell you what they are, I'm going to reveal the precise, shocking biological reason why they either dangerously amplify your medication or render it useless. What you learn about food number 1 could prevent a medical emergency. There is nothing more frustrating than doing what you're told. Taking your medication every day and still feeling like you're losing the battle against high blood pressure. You might feel dizzy, your ankles might be more swollen, or maybe your readings at the pharmacy are stubbornly high, no matter what you do. You start to wonder, is this medication even working for me? For millions of people, the answer is yes, it's working, but it's fighting a losing battle against what you're eating. It's a physiological tug of war happening inside your body every single day. Amlodipine is trying to relax and open up your blood vessels while your diet is forcing them to constrict and work harder. The problem is, when your doctor prescribes a medication, they often don't have the time to sit down and give you the full dietary masterclass that should go with it. They might say, watch your salt, but the truth is far more specific and complex. Certain foods don't just raise blood pressure, they fundamentally alter how your body processes the medication itself, leading to unpredictable and sometimes dangerous results. This is where we need to stop just looking at the pill as a magic bullet. We must understand the entire system of how food is metabolized, how drugs are broken down, and how they interact in your gut, liver, and bloodstream. My goal today is to give you that crucial understanding. We are going to connect what's on your plate directly to the numbers on your blood pressure cuff so you can stop accidentally sabotaging your own health. All right, let's get straight to the 3 most harmful foods. We're starting with the most direct and dangerous interaction. This might be a shock because grapefruit is famously marketed as a health food. You might have it for breakfast or drink the juice, thinking you're doing something great for your heart. But if you are taking amlodipine or another calcium channel blocker, this could be a genuinely dangerous mistake. This isn't about blood pressure directly, it's about a serious drug-food interaction that can dramatically increase the concentration of the medication in your body. Your body has a sophisticated detoxification and drug metabolizing system. A huge part of this system is a family of enzymes in your liver and your intestines called cytochrome P450. Think of these enzymes as the cleanup crew, responsible for breaking down drugs and toxins so they can be safely removed from your body. Amlodipine is primarily metabolized or broken down by a specific one of these enzymes called CYP3A4. This enzyme is found in abundance in the lining of your small intestine. When you swallow your amlodipine pill, a significant portion of it is broken down by CYP3A4 in your gut before it ever reaches your bloodstream. This is a known, expected effect, and your prescribed dose is calculated with this in mind. Here's where grapefruit comes in. Grapefruit and its juice contain compounds called furanocoumarins. These compounds are potent inhibitors of the CYP3A4 enzyme. When you eat grapefruit or drink its juice, these compounds essentially shut down the CYP3A4 enzyme machinery in your gut. Now, imagine what happens. You take your normal dose of amlodipine, but the cleanup crew in your intestine that's supposed to break a large portion of it down has been disabled. Suddenly, much more of the active drug is absorbed into your bloodstream than your body is prepared for. It can be 2, 3, or even more times the effective dose. This can lead to an overdose effect. Your blood pressure can drop dangerously low, causing severe dizziness, lightheadedness, an increased heart rate, and a much higher risk of falls and injury. The swelling in your ankles, a common side effect, can become much worse. You are essentially getting a dangerously high dose of the medication without even knowing it. The FDA requires a warning about grapefruit on many medications, including some calcium channel blockers, for this exact reason. This interaction is not a myth, it's a well-documented and potentially severe pharmacological event. This also applies to some other related citrus fruits like pomelos, tangelos, and Seville oranges. This one might seem obvious, but its impact is vastly underestimated. Your doctor has likely told you to cut back on salt, but it's not the salt shaker on your table that's the main enemy. The real danger comes from the massive hidden amounts of sodium in processed, packaged, and restaurant foods. We're talking about canned soups, frozen dinners, deli meats, sausages, cured meats like bacon, packaged sauces, and most fast food. These foods are working in direct opposition to your amlodipine every single day. It's like trying to cool down a room with the air conditioner while a window is wide open on a hot day. You're making your medication work so much harder than it needs to, often with disappointing results. Let's break down the physiological why. Amlodipine works through vasodilation. It relaxes and widens your blood vessels. This creates more space for your blood to flow, which lowers the pressure against the artery walls. Now, let's introduce a high sodium meal. Sodium is a key regulator of fluid balance in the body. When you consume excess sodium, your body holds on to more water in the bloodstream to keep the sodium concentration stable. This directly increases your blood volume. Think about it like a plumbing system. Your amlodipine is trying to make the pipes wider. The high sodium diet is forcing more water into those pipes. The increased volume raises the pressure inside the system, directly counteracting the effect of the wider pipes. Your heart is now forced to pump a larger volume of blood through your circulatory system, which increases the strain on your heart and the pressure on your artery walls. Furthermore, high sodium intake itself can cause vascular stiffness and damage the delicate lining of your arteries, the endothelium, making them less responsive to the relaxing effects of amlodipine. You are simultaneously increasing the workload, blood volume, and decreasing the system's ability to cope, arterial flexibility. This is why you can take your pill faithfully, but after a salty restaurant meal or a processed frozen dinner, your blood pressure reading can still be sky high. You are, quite literally, eating in a way that cancels out the benefit of your medication. This leads to frustration, the need for higher doses, and the progression of the underlying vascular disease. This is the food that most people, and even many doctors, fail to connect to high blood pressure. For the last 50 years, fat and salt have been the main villains, but a mountain of modern research shows that for a huge number of people, the primary dietary driver of hypertension is sugar, especially in the form of sugary drinks, desserts, and refined carbohydrates like white bread, pasta, and pastries. This food doesn't just counteract your medication like sodium does, it actively pours gasoline on the fire of the underlying disease that causes high blood pressure in the first place. The physiological why connects directly to the hormone insulin. When you consume a sugary or high-carb meal, your body releases insulin to move that sugar from your blood into your cells. But as we discussed in our video on insulin resistance, when your diet is constantly high in sugar, your cells start to ignore insulin signal. This is insulin resistant and it leads to chronically high levels of insulin in your blood. This excess insulin is a disaster for blood pressure for several reasons we covered before, and they are critical to repeat here. First, insulin tells your kidneys to retain sodium. So even if you are diligently avoiding salty foods, a high sugar diet will force your body to hold on to the sodium you do eat, increasing blood volume and pressure. Second, high insulin levels and the resulting insulin resistance contribute directly to arterial stiffness. They inhibit nitric oxide production, the molecule that keeps your arteries relaxed. Amlodipine is trying to relax your arteries, but the high sugar diet is actively making them stiffer and more resistant to that relaxation. Third, high insulin overstimulates your sympathetic nervous system, keeping you in a low-grade fight or flight state, which constricts blood vessels and raises your heart rate. So, while your amlodipine is trying to manage one symptom, high blood pressure, your high sugar diet is actively worsening the root cause, metabolic dysfunction. It's why so many people find they need higher and higher doses of their medication over time. They are medicating the symptom while continuing to fuel the disease with every soda or piece of cake. So, let's connect the dots. We've seen a food that can cause a dangerous overdose of your medication, a food that directly counteracts its effects, and a food that fuels the underlying disease itself. As you can see, especially with sugar and sodium, the problem isn't just about avoiding a few specific foods that interact with your pill. That's a limited, symptom-based approach. The real goal, the path to true health, is to stop eating foods that promote the disease of hypertension in the first place. High blood pressure, for the vast majority of people, is not a separate disease. It is a symptom of poor metabolic health driven by insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. Your amlodipine is a useful tool, a life-saving tool in many cases to manage that symptom and reduce your immediate risk, but it does not and cannot cure the root cause. The true long-term solution is to fix the underlying systemic problem. It's to heal your metabolism so your body can regulate its own blood pressure naturally. This is how you can work with your medication to achieve the best results and potentially Under the guidance of your doctor, reduce your reliance on it over time. And this comes back to the 3 pillars of metabolic health. First, what you eat. You must prioritize a whole foods diet that is low in the things that cause the problem: sugar, refined grains, and excessive sodium from processed foods. Focus on quality protein, healthy fats, and an abundance of fiber-rich vegetables. Second, how you move. Regular physical activity makes your body more sensitive to insulin and improves the flexibility of your blood vessels. A simple daily walk can have a profound effect. Third, how you manage stress. Chronic stress drives blood pressure up through hormones like cortisol. Finding healthy ways to manage stress is non-negotiable for cardiovascular health. When you address the root cause, you aren't fighting against your medication anymore. You are working together to create genuine, lasting health. Let's quickly recap the 3 most important takeaways. Avoid grapefruit. This is a direct, dangerous interaction. If you take amlodipine or similar drugs, remove grapefruit and related citrus from your diet to avoid a potential overdose effect. Ditch processed foods. The high sodium and sugar in packaged, processed, and restaurant foods are in a constant tug of war with your medication, making it less effective and fueling the underlying disease. Treat the root cause. Your ultimate goal is not just to manage a number with a pill, but to reverse the underlying metabolic dysfunction that is causing high blood pressure in the first place. This information is designed to make your medication work better and to put you in the driver's seat of your own health journey. If you found this video valuable and you want to learn more about the root causes of modern health problems, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching. It's time to make your diet work for you, not against you.